Hello and welcome back. Thanks for joining. Today I want to start my video again with a little story and then use actually this example and show some differences between Americans and Germans. The other day I got an invite from my colleague and he invited me to his wife's baby shower. So far, nothing special. However, what was surprising was that they didn't want to have presents to bring to the baby shower. Instead, you should have put some money on the fund for the college. And I think this is the topic I want to talk about today, the differences between Americans and Germans when it comes to college. Whenever I discuss this topic with my colleagues in the US, they were always surprised when I told them that studying in Germany is free. Of course, you have to pay for housing, for books, for public transportation, all that. However, there's no tuition fee if you go to a public university, because the universities in Germany are funded by the states and the government. Compared to in the US, where the universities are private owned and thus they need the money from the tuition to pay all the expenses. And now I also will share some information that I got from my colleagues when I was living in the US, because I never studied in the US. However, colleagues shared information with me and I will share this with you. And maybe this also brings this in different perspective and also helps to understand, why they already think about it, about college, when the baby is not even born. So I had a colleague and her son was supposed to go to college. And then, we were talking and she was giving me some information, how the process works. And she also went to the bank quite often with his son to get a loan, because it's very common in the US that for going to college, you take on a loan. And then if you finish your studies, usually those kids, and you can still say kids, right, in this age, they have debts. So the first job they start with debts. And what I also learned from another colleague in the US, it was that her son was going to a college in the state. So they lived in North Carolina, and then her son was also was supposed to go to a college in North Carolina because first it's cheaper. So the tuition, if you go to a college in your own state, your tuition fee is lower than for those coming from another state and joining this university. However, the first year of college, regardless if you're living in the state, regardless if you just live, 10 minutes away, you have to live on campus. So basically the kids are forced to stay the first year on campus and then also pay for housing. Of course, this also has to do with, bonding. However, of course, this is an additional expense that either the kids or the parents have to take care of. For me, this is a huge difference when I compare those two countries. Because I grew up in Germany and I didn't have to pay for my studies. So here it was free. And then when I moved to the US and my friends were telling me, how the school system, also the university system works, it was eye-opening. It was then, of course, I understand that people always focus on or putting already something on the bank account for saving up for the college time. Also, the whole scholarship topic, it's different in the US because you have to pay so much for your tuition. There are ways to get scholarships, and this either partially can apply basically for every subject. And then based on your grades, you might get a scholarship. Also, the colleague who went with her son to some of the banks, she was telling me that she was forcing her son to apply more or less for every scholarship that was out there. Of course, you need to write an application for that. You need to write an essay why you should get this scholarship and all that. So she was always dragging him to do it in order that at least to reduce the tuition fee and getting the scholarship. And I also learned that the scholarship is not, given for the entire time. More or less, it's always given only for 1 year, and then you more or less apply for either the same scholarship again or for other scholarships. And then when we were on vacation and we were at a campground and I was walking around with my daughter, and then there was another guest from the campground, and we were talking about, the system, blah, blah. And then he was also saying, you know what, just as a hint, if you already want to think about what would be a good scholarship or what kind of scholarships might be easier to get, he was saying, well, maybe you start with your child, with my daughter, for golfing. And then afterwards, college times comes along, you apply for scholarships for golfing. Because the reason behind is there are not many girls in golfing. So the possibility to get a scholarship there is higher. At least this was his opinion. I don't know if this is true or not. Maybe you have other examples or you have other experience. So if so, please put them in the comment field below, or also how you experience studying in Germany as a foreigner. Because also there are opportunities for foreigners to come to Germany and study here for a semester or two. I know there is a tuition. I actually looked it up, but still I compared to what the tuition fee is in the US. The tuition in Germany for students from abroad is around 1,500 euros per semester. So maybe this would also be something to consider. And I'm really looking forward to all your comments. The reason why I captured this video was because of the invite I received from my colleague, and people already think about, the baby is not even born and they already think about college and the expenses. I thought it might also be interesting for you. If you thought so, please give me a thumbs up or subscribe to my channel for free. And if you activate the bell, then you will also get notified whenever I upload new videos. And I hope to see you soon. Bye!